We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's Off the Air. It's Tuesday, July 22nd. Happy Tuesday. Fresh off of NXT, we're going to break it down, and I've got the original crew with me. Let me introduce them to you. One of them you've already heard from today. If you watch the daily, get your twos up. I'm going to send this one to the DMV. What is good, Shotty?
What it do? What it do? It is your boy Shad Talks Graps, and we are back. Double duty in the house today. Mr. Tuesday back in full effect. And yeah, man, let's talk about it, bro. I won't even take much of your time, man. It's NXT off the air. We got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. I'm hyped to get into it. And it's only been 2 days, unlike normal, since it's only been 2 days since I've seen him. And I need a guy out in Louisville, Kentucky that I should do. Remind me one more time, Driz, what's good?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Your boy Dryzzy, the wrestling plug. You don't know what to watch. I got you.
Absolutely. Stoked to be back. We had a blast breaking down Slammiversary. We're here for NXT tonight, though. Let's talk about the headliner here. The biggest dog in the yard. This is my yard. The longest yard, even though he's one of the only wrestlers not in that film. The Undertaker. He appears tonight. Trick Williams. Now, not only is he TNA champ, but he's calling out the Undertaker and he's wearing cowboy hats. That's a new one for me. I did not see that. Didn't have that on my bingo card for 2025.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
He also got heels on, too. He also has on heels.
Precisely. Don't we call them lifts? I don't know.
He on this Cowboy Carter, man. Respect.
It's so not gangster. It's so not gangster. Trick Williams do some gangster stuff, but that was so not gangster.
He is already tall, though. That's the part that bothers me about it. Like, he doesn't need the height advantage.
He's trying to stand toe to toe with the Taker.
I make eye contact. That's fair. Eye level. Either way,
I want you to roll your eyes forward so you can see me.
The Undertaker had some choice words for him, and then, of course, at the end of the night, the Undertaker makes his second appearance after Javon Evans spent the majority of the night trying to figure out what he's going to do next by asking a lot of the roster about it and talking to them. Taker suggested he goes after the biggest dog in the yard. That could have meant Obafemi. That could have meant Trick Williams. I'm not totally sure. Before we get into that part of it, the main event, we had Oba defending the title in yet another triple threat match against Inamura and Josh Briggs. We obviously know their history as a tag team and whatnot. At the end of the day, Oba gets the job done once again, and that's when the Javon and Taker segment happens. I'm going to go to you first, Drizzy. What were your thoughts on the main event? And then also, who do you think the Undertaker was talking about? And what did you think about his interaction with Trick Williams?
Honestly, I do love seeing Taker come to the young guys and be like, you should do this, or back in my day, you should have did this. He's out there trying to be a mentor to him. And I truly appreciate it. But Javon, I feel like, is in a place that he doesn't really need that type of mentorship. Javon has been doing just fine. He's basically a main eventer in NXT. I don't think he needed to have the Undertaker rub any much more than what he already does. I think it's long overdue for him and Obafemi to have a one-on-one match. Honestly, you can't go wrong with Javon versus Obafemi or Javon versus Trick Williams because both matches will be bangers. I feel like we kind of blew the load a little too early having that triple threat match. We should have at least had the either Javon Trick or the Oba Trick match happen already by now. But I mean, it's going to be another great main event whenever it does happen.
Absolutely. We've got a few comments here. We got DCX Warlord with that main event was a Big E special. That's interesting. That's very possible. We've also got
bread,
Javon versus
no water,
Oba
just
Heat.
meat.
at Heat Wave, and then Good Evening WR Crew. Agree 100%. Triple threat rushed from Fernando Zayas. I mean, for me, I look at what happens beyond the next step. The biggest dog in the yard right this second is Obafemi. I don't know if Oba Javon is the right play right now either. We just talked about this triple threat being rushed. I would almost rather him go after Trick Williams and have that happen before Mike Santana eventually wins the title, who is, in my eyes, the one that deserves to win that title. I don't know. That's where my head's at when it comes to all of this. I enjoyed tonight's triple threat, and I'm sure we're going to get Briggs and Inamura in another big rivalry match here very shortly, Shad, but I do have to get your thoughts before we keep it rolling here today.
All right, so let's start with Trick and A, the best world champion TNA history. The reason why TNA wrestling has any relevancy right now, that is Mr. Trick Williams. And yeah, I like Mike Santana as much as the next person, but he has proven why the right choice was made on Sunday, because Trick Williams is the ultimate draw. Trick Williams is the ultimate superstar. Like, he just adds an element of making that title mean something. And I know it's going to make a lot of people upset. It's part of the whole conversation, is TNA getting a fair shake of the deal. Yeah, he's part of your roster when he's the champion. You should be happy that he's part of that lineage of what you have right now. Trick Williams coming out with just an immense amount of swagger and just passion and charisma on a promo. He outcutting promos on the Undertaker 2 nights in a row. He making the Undertaker not look like a big dog. He making the Undertaker looking like the Taco Bell Chihuahua. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I think Trick is doing some of the best work, and I think Trick as a champion right now is, like, truthfully the best thing going for that title. Like, he is the, like, I think we forget how good of a heel he is just because he's popular and the fans love him and they love chanting his music. He was such a good heel with Carmelo Hayes when they were a tag team, and he's showing it all over again. Like, he is a bona fide superstar to the core. In regards to the next conversation that you mentioned, Taker talking to Javon Evans needs to get the title off of Obafemi. Obafemi needs to get to the main roster. I am just about tired of watching him do the same rodeo of opponents nonstop. If I have to see him wrestle Josh Briggs one more time, I am going to rip out the lack of hair follicles I have on my head out, because it's become so redundant. He's done all he's needed to do. He's the dominant champion. He is the guy that has been, the champ for as long as he has been, has won multiple titles on the roster on NXT. He needs to go for bigger fish to fry. That's a Raw. That's a SmackDown. I think you need to get, just like what they're doing with Braun Breaker, put Obafemi and let's get him to be a dominant singles guy. There are 2 mid-card titles that he can go on to take and go on the ultimate run out the gate. Just out of the absolute gate, man. Go ahead and get that IC title off of Dominic Mysterio on the first night and have bangers in the mid-card division. Make yourself more of a superstar. And then Javon Evans, man, like, he is owed a world title opportunity and a world title reign. The kid is sensational. He's a once in a lifetime type of talent that we have on that roster. I think how young he is, how charismatic he is, how talented he is. I think he could be the face of the franchise after Obafemi. I think he can be that lovable baby face that they have and really transcend on a young, developing NXT roster. So I think go for the big dog in the yard, make his moment beating Obafemi. I think they planted the seeds for that, and I would go with that.
I am totally cool with that as long as it is absolutely, there's no rematch, there's no like theories of anything. It's immediately Obafemi main roster.
if we're gonna do
I agree with
this,
everything you said, but it has to be Obafemi's to the main roster out of the gates.
For sure.
Yeah.
As soon as that happens, like the second it happens, it's like we hardly, maybe Javon cuts one promo about how great of a victory it was, and how
Mhm.
proud he is to have defeated Obafemi, and we never hear about him on NXT again.
But if we do that, it's got to be Jeff Hardy Undertaker esque.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to. In
But
fact,
remember, the
that's
Undertaker
probably,
beat Jeff.
he did. He
He
did.
beat Jeff in that match, and what I want it to be more like Oba loses, he sort of gives him the nod, like, all right, you
Yeah,
got me.
You got
I
this
it.
will
is
see you later, but not here.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Listen.
then Javon says something the next week about like how much respect he has for the ruler's reign. And we don't hear from Obafemi for a while until maybe he pops up and takes out somebody gnarly, like maybe Jacob Fatu. Because I just kind of want to see two just absolute titans. You want to
Yeah.
see like
Look, the main roster desperately needs young, like up and coming next superstars. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I get it, and I know we hold a special place for these people because we review this show every Tuesday. But I want this guy to main event at WrestleMania. I want him to be the next like Roman Reigns esque superstar because I think he has that type of potential. And I don't like there's like I love
we're
this show,
in
man.
this weird place on the main roster, Shad, to your point, where powerhouses don't feel invincible outside of the main event scene.
No, they
Like
don't.
Yep.
Roman Reigns as a powerhouse does, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't mean to cut you off there, dude, but like you,
I mean, even
when,
look at someone like Gunther, bro. Like his
yeah,
last title reign, they didn't like. What makes him feel special now is because he just beat Goldberg. Whatever anyone wants to say about Goldberg, say about Goldberg, right? He beat someone who has been historically booked as a dominant person. Now he's going against CM Punk. Now he's going against big dogs. Obafemi needs competition. All
Yeah.
right. The men's roster in NXT is not giving him competition. You either, if you want him to continue a reign, you get some people from the main roster and you have him challenge him to keep building him that way, or you just send him to the main roster and continue to build him that way.
And honestly, he's kind of beating the main. I was getting ready to say maybe he can face some of the TNA main event scene guys, but he's kind of beat them too.
Beat
He's
Moose.
beaten Moose. He's
yeah.
beaten a lot of guys. So, I
He's
mean,
gone through basically everybody available. And this is where it's also interesting when we're talking about the main roster, right?
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of big, strong dudes on the main roster. You got Braun Breaker. I mean, heck, Tala Tonga just debuted and
Bronson
whatnot.
Reed.
Bronson Reed,
the Braun.
Roman Reigns. The majority of them are in groups. And not to get really corny and cliche, but pun intended, like there's nobody really that walks alone. We don't have that Batista. That's what
Yeah.
Obafemi, that's the role that Obafemi can play on the main roster, I think,
Oh,
upon his debut in a perfect way
definitely
where
agree.
like he doesn't need a group. He doesn't need you don't mess with him in the hallway. Right. And
Mhm.
the backstage segments that you can get out of that, the matchups you can get out of that. Rusev is a great call. I would love that for a debut. And we've seen Rusev has some squashes recently. How about have Oba squash Rusev?
Yeah.
And I don't usually call for squashes. I think Rusev could handle it, but I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oba
Or
shows up and shows out and squashes Rusev.
go to war with someone like Sheamus on your first night. Go to war with him,
Yeah.
and then you beat Sheamus, and Sheamus is like, "Wow, who is this guy?" Like I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? Like they
I
got a
might
lot of
even have him
quality
squash
vets.
Sheamus.
He could. I mean, when you say squash, it could be like a competitive 5-minute bout, but he wins within a dominant.
What I kind of want to happen, and this might be selfish of me, and I'm not even trying to like sort of take over this segment here, but I this might be selfish of me. I think Obafemi can be the perfect litmus test. There's a lot of conjecture on across multiple shows at WR about, do the NXT fans, are they the same as the main roster fans? Do the main roster fans all follow NXT? Blah, 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 blah. if Obafemi comes out and squashes one of your main roster favorites out of the gates, if the reaction is this guy's green, we'll have our answer to that question.
So to that point, right? There, people do watch NXT that watch the main roster. Stephanie Vaquer is over as Io Sky last
The
night.
most. It's so
Like,
yeah.
So
Well, see-
people watch it. Like,
And-
we're not in the days of black and gold where there was no
Exactly.
continuity between the two. Things now go hand in hand, and I think they've done a better job. And that also at that, NXT's on a network channel now. This is not
Right,
It's
it's
not like
CW.
in the black and gold where you have to watch it on the WWE app
or USA
that-
now.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that.
It's on
Like
CW now, yeah.
it's more accessible, and everything kind of rolls together now.
There's more synergy to it as well. I think they do a good job. Like, they don't like it's not like its own place anymore. Like, they talk about stuff and they've weaved storylines within each other. Yeah, Oba has faced Ivar. Like,
that match was good.
I mean, he could go like honestly, like we can name everybody on the main roster and it'll have a level of excitement. That's why I think he needs to get called up sooner than later.
I think we're all on the same page on that one, Shad, for sure. Right? Like and that's even the only reason I presented that idea is because I actually do just want to see that I'm in agreement that now there is continuity between the two, and we're aware of who the NXT call-ups are. We all knew who Roxanne Perez was when she showed up on the main roster.
Yeah.
We all knew who Stephanie Vaquer was. We all knew who Julia was. Like, let's stop messing around like it's the old days, right?
Exactly. It needs to be for the guys, though. That's the issue, though. The guys' side of it hasn't really, like, as much as I say, like, the men's roster is kind of thin right now on NXT. Like, we're gonna talk about a list of guys on the remaining for this show that I think would flourish if given the opportunity on the main roster. You know, like, there's quite a few guys that are pushed prominently that can do well onto the main roster. And maybe it's like I just don't know what the I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe I think that would probably be a key point for some of these guys.
My only fear, and I don't want to extend this segment too long, but is Carmelo Hayes.
We're knocking out 2 segments in one thing, so
it's true.
It's okay.
I my fear is Carmelo Hayes, because I thought Carmelo Hayes was a sure thing. I get he's on TV every week. I'm not saying he's done anything wrong. I don't think it's Carmelo's fault. I don't think it has anything to do with his talent. But the star that he was on NXT is not what he is on the main roster right now.
For sure.
And it's not close. Like, it's not the same.
It's not.
That's my only fear. And I mean, we even just saw like a 2-year story with NXT guys, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
Yeah.
That was just thrown in the trash like your buddy by the water cooler. Like, just Kobe. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't care.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah.
And
you do have some duds too on the guy's side more than anything.
yeah.
But it's Oba, bro. You can't, like, I feel like if you fumble Oba, it's like you just completely.
There are some things I don't think you can fumble for Oba though. I think it's impossible to fumble.
I love Melo, bro. I just think Oba is a very different figure than him.
Oh, I agree at this stage, but I just think at the time I would have said like, well,
yeah,
Melo's a sure thing. Right?
I think to us he's a sure thing, but I also think that I don't know. It's an avenue, right? Like, I think the avenue should have been built a little bit better for him. It's not a Melo thing. I mean, I think Melo has done as great as he can given the opportunity. Like you said, he's on TV prominently. I don't think he's had a bad match in his entirety on SmackDown. You know, they kind of got him as the annoying, cocky little heel that eats the pins. They kind of got him in, you know, like Melo's kind of like, funny enough, he's kind of like their version of like Ricochet, except like how Ricochet is in AEW right now, right?
Yeah.
He's the annoying heel that puts on banger matches, except he's not to like that to a T that Ricochet is maybe character wise, but like you kind of, I think we saw him as such a renowned champion on NXT. It does kind of give you a little bit of like, well, why can't we kind of just continue that story onto the main roster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fascinating thing. I mean, obviously, there's if we want to go way back in history, we could start naming names, right? You've got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and stuff that have had amazing success from NXT.
Sure.
All kinds of great things have happened from NXT over the years. The history of NXT is, I feel like, ever evolving. I mean, Braun Breaker, perfect example right now, right? Like,
how many good call-ups have we had historically?
all time. I think that's a super subjective number, because I think there's also some that have been more successful on the main roster than they were in NXT.
You got people like Solo Sikoa,
like Damian Priest. Priest.
When I say like good call-ups, I'm like they initially came up and they felt like a big deal. Like, oh my God, the landscape is changing with this person.
Well, there's some weird ones too, though. Like, cause think about it, Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle goes and wins the tag belts with Randy Orton, like pretty quickly after being called up. And then look where we are now. So it's
but a lot that was a difficult time because they were calling up people during the
left
pandemic
and right.
point.
That was was kind of COVID, so they were trying to make
that part happen. Was a little tricky. But like I mean, I think Damian Priest is a guy that is a good example. He kind of got thrown in the water, and he swam very well, and he's really built a phenomenal.
Well, I mean, the best example would actually probably be Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was pretty darn good in NXT, and then she's a Mount Rushmore wrestler on the main roster. Becky Lynch is probably the best example of like the ascension.
Hey man,
aspect.
might be a grappling for positions. Top 10 that you might need to make.
It definitely
really
sounds
interesting.
Like
one. Because I'm just thinking of names off the top of my head. I'm like, there's a bunch. Like, I mean, you could even include Seth Rollins. He's the inaugural NXT champion.
Seth Roman was he? Yeah.
Roman count.
Roman wrestled in NXT. I would call him more FCW, but
he's more FCW.
Yeah.
Seth was definitely one.
Seth and Roman count. Mox wouldn't count because Mox.
He was all FCW.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's a significant list. The Wyatt family. I was about to go there too, but I mean, even more recently than that, as far as like main roster, Bianca Belair. I can't believe we didn't say
more recently. Bianca,
you know what? I would count Bianca as one of the ones that didn't quite hit like that because she came up.
She was a heel.
But she came up she came up in PC pandemic, in the Performance Center pandemic. Like she was on the Raw with nobody in the building, just Triple H on commentary.
But she got herself in a
Pac is in AEW. We're talking about main roster call-ups.
Yeah,
but Lars Sullivan is a failure. Yes,
big failure.
Is Pac injured? Anyway,
yes.
Yeah, but now it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for sure. Kind of put a bow on that topic.
Well, not only that, let's put a bow on it because we need to do it on grappling for sure.
Yeah.
We has to happen.
We still got 75% of the show still to cover.
Yes, let's move into Jasper Troy and Ricky Saints. I won't spend too much time on this. You all know my thoughts on Ricky Saints. I'll go straight out of the gates to you, Shad, and then we'll go to you, Driz, on this one. What were your thoughts? Jasper Troy picks up the victory.
Yo, I really, really was intrigued by the end result because I thought we don't get a lot of count out victories anymore. And like it's I guess there's a sense of it's refreshing to see creative in a way. I know it's not like a clean victory per se, but it's a good way to keep Ricky, protected in a sense. He wasn't, submitted. He didn't take a pin. He got counted out. He got destroyed outside in the barrier. He couldn't get himself up. And it gets Jasper Troy a win. And I think me and Drizzy spoke about it in detail when we had the post show last week for Great American Bash. Jasper needs to get some tallies on his record book. He needs to get some W's. And for that to be a W, I think that is very beneficial for him. I'm so far really enjoying the work that they are building within this character. I think him just being a super hothead that's looking out to cause chaos and fight anybody on sight is good. I think it tells a good story in the sense where it's like he's gonna get some wins because he's that much of a dominant beast like he did tonight, but he gonna get some L's because he's so full of his emotions where he can't hone into it, and it kind of mirrors what he is. He is untapped potential still to this day, right? He's still brand new into it, but I feel like it's a story you're gonna see. You're gonna see him eventually hone into it, develop as a wrestler, develop as a character, and at that point, you're gonna have a dominant beast on your hand. But I like it. Ricky takes the L. I don't know what the direction is for him right now. I don't know if there's a title that he's going for, if him and Ethan may, go back at it. But I feel like he's in I wouldn't say in a bad holding pattern. I think he's still pretty prominently booked. I'm curious to see what comes up next for him. But yeah, man, all in all, pretty solid stuff.
I love Jasper Troy. I'm 100% with you. And we talked about it before. I think the WWE is desperate for powerhouses right now. He fits that bill 100%. You do know my thoughts on Ricky Saints. He's basically the Saints before they got Breeze. Never won anything of relevance. Yeah, Aaron Brooks. But Drizzy, I'm going to toss this one to you. What were your thoughts on the match here? Jasper Troy gets the win. Also, Ricky Saints run so far in NXT.
I'll touch on that. Ooh, I'm not gonna say that. I'm going to Jasper Troy. What Chad said. Yes, we have been saying that Jasper Troy needs those wins. He has been putting on good performance after good performance, but not getting those wins, and the wins do matter somewhat. Finally getting a big win over a Ricky Saints is a good way to go, but he's got to keep rolling now. He's got momentum, so he has to keep on going. I understand we want him to look like the NXT version of Abyss. We want him to just be a monster at all times, and he does have that untapped potential, but those things have to translate into wins. I do think that he will be thrust main just fully into the main event scene because he has this it's insanity aura that just fits and it makes everybody around him frantic, and I love it. He's a breath of fresh air to that division. They do need more of him and more powerhouses like him. Ricky Saints, I don't think he's having a bad run, but I feel like he is trying to. I don't. I feel like he's trying to tell a story, but we're just not picking up on what the story is. He's very artsy fartsy, very artistic, and Ricky tells stories that we don't be paying attention to all the way. I really feel like he's telling a story. He's taking the long way around to the eventual top of the mountain. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get there. I'm absolutely positive he's gonna get there, but he's taking the long way around to it, and I do appreciate that.
I
He's
respect
not.
the
It's not a.
positivity.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon with him. He's willing to take
No.
these little mini fights with people like Jasper Troy and Easton Page and everything to before he makes his way up the mountain.
I respect the positivity, but let's be real here. Would we be talking about him every single week on WR if I wasn't making fun of him compared to
No.
Ricky Starks when he was in AEW and he was creating his own headlines? I mean, at the end of the day, it's now to the point where like we're forcing him on the air. I mean, look, he lost to Jasper Troy, like the LFG guy. He lost to Ethan Page, and then Ethan Page changed the name of the North American title. We're going to get to that later, but at the same time, this is exactly what I was saying for months. This guy in AEW was a huge deal. He was a threat to win multiple titles.
No, he was
All of this stuff. Name change. He was in the news every week. He was on the radar. He's not on the radar anymore. He's lost in the
He was
shuffle.
not a threat to win multiple titles in AEW.
Absolutely, TNT title. I mean, come on. We were always talking about where's
He
Ricky,
was a
and
prominent mid
he
card
rubbed
guy.
shoulders.
He was
He rubbed shoulders with
potential.
Adam Copeland. That's a Hall of Famer. Now he's getting beat up by Jasper Troy.
Yeah, but he was.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Jasper Troy.
You're acting like it was he's in the same ballpark as someone like Hangman or like that.
Whoa, no. He's not anywhere near that. I just think he thought the grass was going to be greener, and it's not for him thus far. Is
The grass wouldn't have been greener in AEW either. He wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Yes,
I think
do.
he would have been.
We saw how that run ended, right?
Do you see how, bro? Their men's roster is like very stacked right now. So you're not guaranteed. If it's a prominent, like he's more prominently booked on NXT than he would have been in AEW at this point. Like it may not be a better, like AEW is probably a bigger deal because it's its own show and NXT's development brand.
Ricky was supposed to be the fourth pillar, dude. This guy was a pillar.
This whole fourth pillar. Hold up. Let's be real for 1 second. The only pillars that matter are Darby and MJF. Jack Perry is.
Man,
I don't want to say nothing.
We're not about to have any Jack Perry slander.
Jack Perry is very average, very average. He's
fair.
He's a bigger deal because he got in a little altercation with CM Punk. Sammy Guevara is he's like Smush Parker of the four
pillars. He's a smush pillar.
He don't do nothing of significance after it ain't his fault. He's a talented worker.
Well, I mean, according to Punk, Britt Baker's a pillar. Remember, he said that.
Britt Baker is. I don't know what she is.
I don't want to argue it because there is some what's the word? There is some truth to it. I don't want to argue it because there is some truth.
To me, the pillars are Max, Hangman, Darby, and then I would say if we're talking about the young talent,
should be Swerve.
I would. Was it Swerve's just because of he wasn't there since the very beginning. I have a hard time, but I would Swerve's like a new pillar.
Sammy's the goat of what?
Well, yeah, that's a little bit wild.
You just you must be friends with him. You must have went to
Tony Khan's paying Clark under the table.
Garrett Sorry must have went to a meet and greet and saw him. By the way, I haven't met him personally, but I did see Sammy Guevara at a convention.
I'll say Tony Storm's the fourth pillar if I have to pick one.
I mean, I guess she doesn't count as well because
she shouldn't either. That's the worst part. But she is. It's I don't know. The pillars concept is kind of dead. Orange Cassidy, that's the fourth pillar.
Yeah,
hello.
OC's good, yeah.
Boom. I'll go Orange Cassidy. You know what? We'll wrap the conversation with that. Let's talk about Blake Monroe. This hot new upstart, never heard of her before. She does look a lot like Mariah May or Monica Monroe, as our good friend Booker T said today on today's broadcast. Taking on Ren Sinclair, former tag partner of friends of the show, Miss Kate.
True.
This one is interesting. Blake Monroe. We had a long discussion about this on the show when we were watching. Drizzy, give me your thoughts on the Blake Monroe run thus far.
I enjoy the story told with Blake Monroe. And it's still early. I feel like she has taken what she did as Mariah May in AEW, and she's kind of restarted everything. Because how she came into AEW is kind of how she came into NXT. And her presentation, top level. her moves top level. Mariah. So we had this conversation a little bit about what is aesthetically the difference between her and somebody who looks like her on the main roster, aka Tiffany Stratton. And one of the things that definitely stood out and that nobody could deny is Blake Monroe does the little things that matter. She's putting you in a headlock. She's putting her head next to you. She's licking. She's sitting there posing for the camera. The little things that matter to tell stories in the ring. She's probably one of the better storytellers in the women's division at this moment in NXT. And I think that is going to stand out 10 times. It's something that's been missing in the NXT women's division. There's not a lot of things missing in that division, but that's one of them is the storytelling in it. We haven't really seen these stories told since around the Becky, and Tiffany Stratton type stuff. But Blake give her aura is is bleeding into the division, and you're seeing it on all levels at this moment now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear where you're coming from. I do totally see the comparisons to Tiffany Stratton. I also see the comparisons to the former AEW champion Mariah May. They do look oddly similar to me. And there's a lot of stuff with those two characters, Blake Monroe and Mariah May, as far as similarities are concerned. I will say, Shoddy, I got to ask you about this one. When it comes to this Blake Monroe run, what do you think? We've got the similarities to Stratton. Also, a lot like that former AEW champion Mariah May. Do you think it's the same person or no? Because I just don't see it. It doesn't feel the same to me.
All right. I think you forgot to take your meds today, Clark. Anyways, yeah, Blake Monroe has probably the coolest entrance in NXT, first and foremost. I love the vanity mirror pan out and her coming in. I think her theme song is very catchy. Uh I think the presentation has been really good. I see the parallels between her and Tiffany Stratton. They are both pretty blonde girls. But I think the thing that we forget about Mariah Blake is she's conniving. She is a cunning, devious person that will stab you in the back and have the prettiest smile and grin at it when she does it. And we saw a bit of that, obviously, with this whole evolution storyline in Jordan Grace. And thus far, I am enjoying her run in NXT because I think her and Jordan bring a element of a big time feud of two prominent wrestlers in the women's division, and there's not a title involved. And I think that's why NXT is at the top of the hill when it comes to booking women's wrestling, is because they don't need to have a belt to make it an impact feud. The best wrestlers can feud against the best wrestlers, and a story is all that needs to be told within it. And they are telling a story with it. So I am enjoying it. I'm liking it. But I'm curious to see what the direction is after the Jordan Grace, because if she is going for the title, she's going to have a tall task because JC Two Straps runs women's wrestling right now. JC Jane is probably the best women's wrestler in the world right now in 2025. Like, she's got two titles.
JC Jane is on top of the two top women's divisions in North America right now.
What? TNA? Nah, TNA not anymore. The Knockouts has got knocked out, bro.
Have you heard of Tony Storm?
Yeah, I'm
Bro,
always
no, I genuinely mean that. I think the Knockouts is the
I don't
weakest
think
women's division.
No,
in
yeah, no
America right
way.
now, bro.
That's the top two. No, no.
I absolutely don't believe that. When you have a division with Masha Slamovich still, nah, absolutely not.
Tony Storm, Mercedes Monet, Becca
Monet,
Payne.
dude, knock it off. That's ridiculous.
When
AEW
they're more
women's
consistent,
division was
when they're more consistent with those women, I'll jump on that.
They built Blake Monroe. Okay, I was making a joke the whole time, obviously, and we got here. Mariah's the old homie.
Yeah, no, he ain't lying about that. That's my boy Jordan. He actually used to be cool with Mariah May.
I love that. Shoddy,
Yeah.
Drizzy.
Mhm.
The knockouts division is not in the top. It's not in the top 3.
It's not in the top 3. Okay, wow.
It's not in the top 3.
I would go. Honestly, I'll be real with you. I'll probably go with Monday. Like Raw's roster right now is probably the best right now. I mean,
Raw,
bro, come on.
NXT, AEW.
Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, Naomi, Bailey, Becky, Lyra, Roxanne, Raquel, like that. Oscar.
JC Jane is the knockouts champion.
And how consistent are they ever with those
They
guys
was on
on Raw? On
they-
Raw, how consistent are they with them?
Pretty consistently, I would say.
I can't. I definitely cannot say that.
Arguably,
They had the first like 90 minutes last week on Raw.
arguably the best match of all of the weekend, where we stacked it with wrestling when it came to women's matches. There was an entire pay-per-view evolution, was Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm in AEW too. That was better than anything that happened knockouts wise in the last year, and in front of a bigger crowd by 3 times.
I think TNA historically has I think the knockouts was the best division a couple years ago, like without a doubt. But they have lost so much on their roster. They lost Jordan Grace, they lost Deonna Purrazzo, they lost Trinity, obviously, Micha and Chelsea Green. Like now you're in a standpoint where they're leaning so much on NXT to have consistent booking. But like if we're talking about the bare bones roster, okay, you have people like Masha Slamovich, Tasha Steeles, but after that, come on, man, we booking Tessa Blanchard consistently.
I want y'all to remember, because TNA goes through this periodically. And through the years, they've still been able to build those same stars that WWE is like, hey, come over here. So when does that come into play? Because these guys consistently, in fact, the knockouts are the reason that TNA is still in business.
But currently, to this day, right now, though,
right
the
this
roster
second,
right
the
now,
roster is thin as it's ever been.
It's not.
It's been absolutely
It's definitely not.
fleeced.
It's definitely
And they're
not.
they're in as
And
big of
with that-
financial
and at
trouble
that-
as they've ever
and at
been.
that, we're also not looking at the fact that they've just hired a bunch of new young talent that are getting ready to come in and run shot over there. You're going to start seeing Jada Steele on TNA television. A great signing. Bet all your horsewomen endorse her.
I'm not saying we're rooting against them, but what I'm saying is by comparison to AEW, where the level of depth in that roster is double. Same thing with Monday Night Raw. Same thing with NXT.
I highly disagree with this too. I think Indy Hartwell is like mid of mid. I won't even say she's a bright spot.
I did think she was very good on Slammiversary compared to some other performers on that show.
See,
I'll give Indy credit. She was very good.
She's average.
But this is the thing that everybody.
But no, I'm with
at.
you, Shad. I'm in agreement.
This is good. This will be the last point I'll make about. The thing, the issue that always has made the knockouts the better division in my eyes is the fact that they always are treated like the main event. AEW just started treating them like they're the main event within this last year. WWE can't ever make their mind up on when they want to start putting them in the main event.
Okay, hang on. We have one more segment to go to, but Drizzy, tell me one knockouts match this year that sounded more important on paper than Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné. Give me one knockout match. Which one?
Jordan Masha.
That was a bigger deal than Moné.
That was this year. That was
a bigger deal than Moné
yes.
And Toni.
In my eyes, yes.
Do you think there were more eyes on that? That was more relevant
this year?
What?
Yes.
Drizzy.
Yes.
Drizzy, there's not one. No. That's just not the case.
I think there's a major misconception towards people's perception of AEW's booking on the women's division too.
I think so too.
A lot
of
it's
unfair.
I think a lot of it is.
My issue is they've just started getting it. Y'all trying to give them that's the greatest thing now, and they just started doing it.
We're talking. I said this current juncture right now, though.
Right, this second that has been the most important women's match outside of the WWE.
If we put the rosters on paper, I'm just saying roster wise on paper at the moment, they have the thinnest out of the ones in North America compared to AEW and WWE NXT. Like this is a roster that's based off of like, okay, Masha is amazing. We said Tasha still, but then you got people like Tessa Blanchard, Alicia Fox. You know, like it's Indy Hartwell. Like it's not anything to go against like what I just named all off of Raw, or if we would go off of NXT. Like
I want to put a feather. I want to put a feather in this because we can definitely talk about this all night. But I want to put a feather in this. Make a note of this because you guys are saying all this right this moment. Let's take a look at this in a few months.
It's gonna get worse. All Out's coming up before TNA runs a relevant show. They're gonna put on a big championship match with their big champion, like on a bigger platform in front of more people. So it's like that's the hardest part about it. It's like TNA has done amazing things for women's wrestling when it comes to the knockouts division. This isn't. It's not the same thing now. Like there's
let
more.
go. I mean, plus, by the way, man, they let go of Gail Kim, so they let go of a big person that kind of built a lot of what the golden era of what we saw.
And you're also speaking about a management issue that is not the same. People are not running that right.
Still relevant.
Management affects roster construction.
Isn't that the same thing on AEW? Doesn't utilize them? Isn't that a management issue? If that's the argument that direction?
Yeah.
So
and I said that. Y'all said it didn't matter.
No, it did matter in the past.
No, y'all said it did not matter.
Doesn't matter to the present conversation.
Y'all said that
because the current management has been good.
Because Mercedes Moné is the bigger stars. Like these are the bigger stars, so these matches mean more than anything.
She's a bigger star, but she's also prominently doing amazing stuff on top of that. It's just not the star power. It's what she's doing with minutes like given on television. She's given us a multitude of classic matches this year. And I mean, dude, Toni Storm is probably like the biggest wrestling women's superstar in general. And then if you go to WWE, you got Rhea Ripley, you got Naomi. Like these are people who are absolutely killing it too. I don't know what level of a superstar is like that on TNA at the current time. Masha is a great one, but she just lost to JC Jane. And that's the other thing too. You know what? Let's get to the last topic though, because this is
we do. Let's get to Ethan Page, son of my gun.
No, it's Ethan Page.
Ethan Page, son of my gun. Ethan Page is cutting a promo. North America, not America, Canada. New belt, new strap, out of this world. I haven't laughed that hard in quite some time. Pretty golden. Driz, I'll start with you, then we'll go to you, Shad, and we'll all break this down.
We have the I want to call it the North Canadian belt so bad. We are about to get Santino Marella versus Ethan Page. I really thought Santino was not going to be able to wrestle ever again. Ethan, great in ring. The man knows how to make you hate him. It's got to be a gift at this point to have the power to make people hate you so much, to be such a good bad guy, to say things that just get under people's skin so much. It is truly an art, and Ethan Page needs to be studied on this aspect of just being a good heel in an era where it is tough to be a good heel. There are so many people that see behind the scenes and see all the things that go on, and if they appreciate you, they cheer you, but they really need to be booing you. He does not allow you to even think about cheering him for anything. You are booing him from the moment you see him.
I'm 100% with you.
And I say, are we about the? I might be jumping. Are we? We've seen the TNA World Titles, women and men, both go to NXT. Is Santino about to win the North American title? Like,
No.
I don't
like,
think so. I
I
wish.
definitely see it being like a fluke type
I
thing.
wish, but
but-
no.
Like, I could definitely see like Ethan do it, like playing around with Santino, like, he can't do nothing with me. And then let's say some divine intervention happens and he gets knocked out. Santino turns around and gets him and walks out with a belt. Like,
It's fascinating. I've got a few things to say about this. First and foremost, Ethan Page to me, I've been calling him Diet Scott Hall for a long time, and I do want to formally apologize. Shout out my very favorite Canadian, Kobe Glazansky, Galanzowski. How do you say it? Great guy. I do apologize. This was golden, and he's way better than Ricky. The Saints go marching in. But at the same time, is it just me, or did Santino go, you're going to put that iguana on TV? I'm bringing the Cobra back. That's what this felt like a little bit in hindsight. The more I thought about it, he was like, hold on.
They wrestled
I'm the
this past
original
weekend, too.
green toy. Yes. Iguana, Cobra. I don't know. Maybe some involvement in this. What I
Like-
do know is I love Santino Marella. I love the mispronunciations. But he has no chance in the world of taking this belt off of Ethan Page. Sean, let me talk to you about this, then we'll break it down and go home.
Yeah, man. Ethan Page is a diamond in the rough. Like, I think a lot gets lost in this mass amount of AEW talents coming on to WWE, the Jade Cargills, the Pentas, the Ray Phoenixes, obviously Cody, Punk, who were in the WWE before, went to AEW, then coming back, Alistair, Rusev. Ethan Page got to be part of the cream of the crop. This is a guy who I think, I won't say bet on himself, but saw the outing of leaving AEW, you know, whatever that situation may be, came into WWE, came into NXT, and truly reinvented himself, like really created himself to be a dominant heel to a point where I am confident that the success for Ethan Page in the WWE will be long lasting. The promo and the idea of changing the North American title to the Canadian title, but still being North American, saying that you are wrestling in Ethan Page's North America is absolutely brilliant. He had the people in Texas going crazy. Like these, you know, proud to be American folks, you know, rallied up listening to the Undertaker's theme song, feeling super patriotic. Oh, he put a cloak and dagger right to their chest, and he had them just feeling so upset, so mad. It's such cliche, just heel work that we've seen from the beginning of time, right? And it worked, and it worked so well. And he's got a sense of what Drizzy was saying, disdain that you have towards him. He's so good getting under your skin. He does it to Clark on a weekly basis. You know, Clark is just so mad every day. He's gaining wrinkles on his face due to the stress that Ethan Page causes. That is elite heel work, man. He's a borderline elite heel, and I love it. I love Santino Marella coming in, giving up the comedic timing that he has. It's a whatever match. It'll be fun, but Ethan is another guy like Obafemi where the success potentially going on to the main roster, I see it. I think there's an avenue for him to go in there, be a dominant, like not dominant, but being a good heel in the mid-card division. You know, but yeah, man, great stuff. This was probably one of my highlights of the entire show. This one was genuinely hilarious.
I'm with you on a lot of this, and I will also accept your stuff about, you know, me and Ethan Page getting under my skin and all of that. But one thing I will not accept is the wrinkles comment, because I have an excellent skincare routine.
My bad.
And I just think it's that's a low blow.
My fault.
That was undeserved, dude.
I'm sorry.
I just got a new moisturizer, and like I'm not even sure if it's working. So now you got me all in my feelings. I got to get the mirror out as soon as the show ends. It's ridiculous
Be like,
here. Garrett's in the comments with Sean Spears killed it on the opener though. Don't
Oh,
open
yeah.
that can of worms.
By the
Garrett.
way,
we're buddies.
By the way, the GOAT did get a win tonight. Tatum Paxley won. Maybe people are gonna say Dark State is the reason why. No, she got the pin. She got
Tuesday
the pin on that
Tatum.
scrub, that absolute overrated garbage Ultimate Warrior knockoff wrestler named Zarya, who ruined Sol Ruka's amazing weekend by just being a pure loser. Tatum pinned her.
Yes, she did. Just another Tatum Tuesday, right?
Yeah, and I can't wait till Brock Lesnar's daughter comes into the WWE so she can take the F5 from her.
Whoa, I did not see that. It was MLB All-Star Weekend last week, dude. You can't be taking throws from left field.
She's dating an NFL player. They're about to be like getting all the games.
Man, what's his Madden? Let me check his Madden rating. He'll be on the NIL.
I couldn't even tell you that man's name. All I know is he played for the 49ers. That's it.
Maya Lesnar's boyfriend. His name is Drew Moss.
Madden rating. I think the game comes out in like 15 days. Shot with the facts.
He's a 60 overall. He's definitely going to be wrestling in the WWE next year.
That's not it at all.
That boy is 60. Brock Lesnar had a higher rating in Madden.
What's his toughness rating?
Brock was like a 62, I think.
No, see if you can find it. Expanded ratings. Check it. And then we're going to go home.
It doesn't have all of it. It just has the...
They probably, you got to get the game for that.
Did you see that they gave one punter in NCAA or in college football 26 a 0 toughness rating? I'm like, poor guy. Like, he signed up for the game. He got a free copy of the game. And they're like, how tough is he? 0. He has the lowest tough. You sort by toughness in the video game. There's one person. It's this poor kid. And he's at a directional state school, obviously. But like at the same time, how did they quantify his 0 toughness? That's what I want to know.
The discussion for that, like this guy's definitely a 0.
I'll tell you what, if EA Sports sent somebody,
he's a UDFA too. He ain't even making a team. He's gonna definitely be wrestling in LFG next season.
If they sent somebody down though to the school to punch the punter in the arm, and like he reacted like that, and they were like, "Ooh, 0 toughness." That was the test. They're like, "We're gonna give you a Charlie horse. See how hard you react."
Yeah, the smartest thing this guy
sent some random guy from EA Sports. Boom.
The smartest thing this guy ever did was date her, because I don't think none of us would know who he was until we figured
he's famous now.
Papa Brock, can you get me a job in WWE?
Could you imagine had it been Parker Bordeaux?
Archie don't want him on that.
You mean the kid that should be Brock Lesnar's kid?
Yeah, other Brock.
Is that dude still wrestle?
I don't know what he does now. He used to be an offensive lineman.
I haven't seen him since.
Remember, he was part of the Schism.
Okay, wait, we're about to hit like a full hour. We actually have to go.
We gotta get out.
This is the end of the show. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Happy Tuesday. On behalf of me, Clark, Drizzy, Shad, everybody at WR, we appreciate you so much. If you haven't liked, subscribed, please do. Have a great rest of your day. Also, check out all of our other shows. Some of them are on Undercard. We've got Grappling for Position, of course, sold separately, all kinds of good stuff. And then the daily every day. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. And happy Tuesday.